Earth's doorsteps. G9 closed meeting transcripts. G9 closed meeting, year 2032. Scientist. I'll take your questions now. Voices of country delegates yelling. Chinese delegate. Are these earthquakes natural? Indian delegate. Was last year's underground nuke responsible? Scientist. We don't know. It is unclear whether this is caused by natural or man-made forces. German delegate. Can the destruction be contained? Scientist. We don't know. But our models suggest the next tectonic wave, a 9.7, will strike South America in 3 months. There will be more tectonic movements after that, and they will grow stronger and more frequent until continents start repositioning. Canadian delegate. But sea levels are already rising. We can't take American delegate. How long until Earth no longer supports life? Scientist. Our best estimate, Earth will be incapable of sustaining life beyond the end of the century. Angry shouting interrupts meeting. G9's closed meeting reconvened. UN Secretary General joint statement. The group of 9 have agreed to the following. The findings of the research commission shared among the G9 are to remain classified to the highest order. None of the matters discussed are to be made public. Any branches of this directive, links to the press, social media, and any other outlet, regardless of intention, we lead to exclusion from further programs and may be considered as casus belli, act of war. G9 closed meeting, year 2034. Guest Sylvia May Flores. We cannot stay. There will be nothing left on Earth to accommodate us. Indian delegate. What is it you're suggesting we do instead? Guest Sylvia May Flores. An arc ship built in orbit, capable of transporting us to the nearest habitable planet. The arc ship will be powered by nuclear energy with capacity of 500,000 passengers. An auxiliary scout ship, the Caravel, will also be built to reach the destination planet before the arc ship, to establish a safe zone and prepare the ground for the first human settlement outside Earth. Sounds of disapproval and contempt. French delegate. I believe you are the wrong meeting, Miss Flores. The Star Trek convention is down the road. EU delegate. You're wrong. A floating city built on the surface of the ocean. That is the only realistic option we have. My people have already begun drafting the plans. Guest, Sibylla May Flores. For once in our lives, take the science seriously. You cannot have a city in the middle of the ocean. There will be no oceans left. History of the Earth. Formation of the Outriders. Speech to the Transgovernmental Board. Sibylla May Flores. Year 2040. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Progress on the construction of the arc ship continues apace. Procedures for transportation of resources to orbit have been streamlined, and the ship's skeleton is well underway to completion. Our latest series of tests for the G-Drive have passed with flying colors, and we are close to developing ship-scale engines featuring this tech. Considering the delays we have endured to get this project off the ground, we are safely within schedule. However, this is where I have to caution this board that the progress made should not be expected to be maintained. I need not tell you of the dangers that lurk in your own countries and the threat that civil unrest could pose to the arc ship. And even if we were safely and effortlessly leave Earth behind us, There's no telling what might await us on Enoch. We must do everything we can to guarantee this experiment of ours succeeds, because it cannot be repeated. We will require highly trained individuals to extract VIPs from hostile zones, whether by diplomatic means or otherwise secure crucial strategic points and ensure the security and continued production of the Ark ship. We will require a diverse group of interdisciplinary individuals with both combat and scientific expertise to steer a scout ship that departs for the new planet ahead of Ark and prepare the ground for the colony we will establish. This can only be achieved with the formation of a specialized unit. They will be handpicked from the most distinguished members of the military, government agencies, and corporate entities across the world, and provided further fit-for-purpose training. Thus, I submit to the board my recommendation for our next generation of pioneers, the vanguard of Enoch, the Outriders. History of Earth, the coming end, the point of no return. Article year 2048. The latest earthquake's epicenter was recorded in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, down the fault line that courses between Africa and South America. Although the Richter scale does not technically have an upper limit, seismometers have failed to provide consistent readings on just how intense the earthquake was. As residents of neighboring coastal areas will attest, however, their houses and workplaces crumbled first before their ruins were swept away by the falling tsunami. For those cities that still stood, no effort at evacuation could have prevented the ensuing catastrophe. Rio de Janeiro was struck approximately 2 hours and 17 minutes after the earthquake occurred. Many flocked to the city's hills seeking the highest altitude they could reach, but the ocean water reached even the feet of Costa Rica. Cristo Redentor atop Corvado Mountain, which stands more than 2,000 feet above ground. Most of the city's population, which numbered 12 million and missing, together with 10,000s of travelers. Fortaleza, Cape Town, St. Lucia, Lagos, Puerto Rico. The same story repeats for many cities and islands caught in the path of this mega tsunami. This disaster followed several others that have occurred in the last decade. Their increasing intensity, combined with an overwhelming number of scientific studies urging for action, forced world leaders to confirm that more disasters like this will follow, ultimately rendering the planet uninhabitable by the middle of the 23rd century. Perhaps the world leaders believed 200 years would be so far removed in time to allay people's worries. Perhaps they thought the promising to save billions of our great-great-great-grandchildren would satisfy us. But for the half of the world's people, as things currently stand, their cups aren't exactly overflowing. And a dying world, they are a whole which lives, a whole priority